and welcome back to Dog Paw Blog. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a tug toy for your dog. Pretty simple. The materials are really easy to come by, so if you're interested in making a do-it-yourself dog toy, stay tuned. Okay, so there are a few things that you're going to need. You are going to need fleece material of your choice. I like to use two different color fleece because when you're doing the pattern, the box knot, it's easy to figure out which pieces you're pulling through. But if not, you can use one piece, but I prefer two, and it makes the toy a little bit prettier too. But I have one here. This is 1 yard of fleece. You are also going to need something to mark your fleece with, so like a Sharpie. Also, you're going to need something to cut the fleece. You want to make sure you have like really heavy duty scissors. These are fabric scissors. I'm going to be trying this roller cutter here. If you're going to be using something like this where you're just going along the fabric, you want to make sure you have like a self-healing mat underneath of it. So I have my cutting mats as well, because I'm going to be using this instead. Let's get started. Okay, so I have my fleece laid out, and I have the cutting mat underneath of it. Now, Coco, don't step on it, please. No. She thinks it's her blanket. So I've made two different kinds of these before. This is a shorter one. If you want the shorter toy, make sure that you're cutting this way along the fabric, the shorter side of your yard of fabric. If you want the longer toy, make sure you're cutting the long way across your fabric, going up. So I want to make a long toy, so I'm going to be cutting this way. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to mark my strips out. It just kind of helps because fleece doesn't really cut very evenly, so if you kind of have a guide, it's easier. So I'm going to mark that out. Okay, so if you can see, I drew my lines, and they do not have to be perfect. Like by the time you tie this thing up in a knot, it's not going to be completely perfect, but you do want them about 1 inch to 2 inches wide. So there's that. I still have room to make another one, so I probably will make another one. Now I'm just going to cut my strips. Okay, so I'm just using this cutter here. Hopefully it works. I've not used this before for the fleece. So, and my self-healing mat is underneath, so I don't cut the carpet. Let's see if that's cutting. Oh my gosh, you can't see it. Okay, because I'll come up so you can see it. It works so much better than the scissors. So you can see. Here I come up. It works like so perfectly. Except for like right here, because that's where my board splits. So hang on, let me scoot it up some. Yep. Because that's just where my board split. So I'm just gonna keep doing that till I get all 4 sections. Okay, so that was really easy to cut with that thing. So I have my 4 strips. Again, your 4 strips do not need to be perfectly even. You're gonna end up tying these up, so don't worry about that. So let's start the knot. So if any of you have ever done like that plastic gimp where you do the different knots, you can do spirals and all that. This is gonna be like a box gimp. I think that's what it's called, those plastic strings that you tie up and stuff. You can do a short one this way too. You would just kind of start your knot like you would on those plastic things. You would start with your 4 sections here. I like mine to be pretty long, so I'll do actually all 4 strings together. So you just line up your bottom, you line up your ends. Say 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then all I do is I'm going to tie a knot in the bottom. Gather it and then pull it through so it makes a knot. And you're gonna pull that super tight because you don't want that to unravel. So as tight as you can, you're just pulling through a knot. So then you're just gonna start your box knot. This is where it is a little bit easier if you have at least 2 different colors, because then you know you're pulling your same colors. Kind of separate your pieces so you know your 4 pieces. I'm going to work on the direction that's towards me, so I'm going to bring the far one towards myself and make a loop. Then I'm going to bring the one that's closest to me, that's opposite to the first loop, and make another loop. So now I have 2 loops. The first was like the hardest one, but after that, it's okay. So then I'm gonna take the one that is on my right, that's free, and I'm gonna loop it through the loop. I'm gonna pull it all the way through. Then I'm gonna take the last one that's on my left, and I'm gonna push that through the loop as well. And then you're gonna take your strings, you're gonna pull them tight. So it makes your first box knot. Now with the fleece, there's so much give in it, you really can pull it pretty tight to make it a tighter toy. And once you have your first one, it's pretty easy to keep going. But you just want to, you know, tighten it each time. So there's my first box knot. And you just keep going. So let's do another one. So again, separate your 4 pieces. You should have one in front, like one farthest away from you in front, one closest to you, one to the right, and one to the left. Start with the one that's farthest away from you. Start with the one that's closest to you. Make your loop. Make your loops. Go to your right. The right one goes to the farthest loop away from it. And then the one on the left goes, when they're long it's hard, it goes through the loop on the farthest side of it and you pull it through. Then you take your 4 strings that are loose and you tie them, you pull them tight. If you can hear the cats hissing, I'm sorry. They're like having an argument in the closet. So. And then there's your second one. I'll probably do like 5 of these on camera, and then I'm going to speed this up so you guys can get the gist of it. So if you've ever done these, I mean, you know the box knots, if you've done those plastic string things, this is all you're doing, but with fleece. Start with the one that's farther away from you. Make your first loop. And then the one that's closest to you, make your second loop. And then just hold them in place. It's going to keep going out of focus, I'm sorry. Then the one on your right is going to go into the loop on the left. And then the string that's on the left is going to go into the loop on the right. See, so there's your box. And then all you're doing is pulling them tight so it doesn't come loose. So all you're doing is pulling them. See? There's your box knot. So I'm not gonna do the whole thing on camera because I'll check back in with you because it's gonna burn my battery and my SD card up if I do the whole thing. So I'm just gonna keep going like that until I get about midway, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna finish it off. Okay, so I've moved downstairs. I've gotten a little bit farther along. I'm gonna watch a movie. This is a perfect project to work on if you're just, you know, watching a movie or you have some time to kill. So this has probably been about 10 minutes. I have probably about 3 inches or so, 3 or 4 inches, and then just, you know, a couple more feet to go. So I'll keep checking back in with you. Okay, so a few minutes have gone by, a little bit further along. Thought I'd try to do like an overhead shot so you can see. So still just taking the one that's farthest from me, making a loop, one that's closest to me, making a loop. Then the one on my right passes through the loop on the left. Pull that through. Then the string that's on the left passes through the loop on the right. Here we go. And then just pull. Okay, so I'm just about to finish. This is pretty long, and I'm just going to show you how to close off the knot. So you have your 4 pieces here. You're gonna gather 2 in each hand and you're gonna make a twist. You're gonna pull that really tight. And then you're gonna make another twist. So that'll close it off. Pull that really tight. So you made that first knot to start it, and then you're making just like a double knot to close it off. So there's the toy. So probably just about 2 feet long.